So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of the Belmont estate and we're out on Belmont Pool hoping to catch Mr. Carp. Now the plan this morning was to go Linvale for the tench and that didn't work. It was busy. The plan today is to fish off that barrow. The plan was have a bit of a walk round, try and find the carp, and I literally found them in this corner. It is like mud, so I've put in a bit of hemp and a bit of maggot and a bit of corn and there's one or two, I don't know if you caught it at the start, just boiling up. There's plenty of fish in the area, you can see down here. I managed to get a rig in place and I've just come to the left just slightly of the peg because I want as little amount of line as possible on the pool. You can see there we're getting liners already. There is carp literally everywhere. I have got my float rod with me today because I was gonna go on that pool, but you can see there's carp dead close in, so liners are going to be inevitable. And you know, I don't really want to put another rod in because the fish on here, from my experience, move off you really quickly. Certainly if we get an opportunity it could spook them. So wherever I go I always carry a stalking rod with me, little float rod. I would imagine it's probably a tactic that they've probably not seen on here, a float, too often. But with the right gear, you can sometimes do something a bit different and trip one up, and we've managed to hook one right in the margin and make that opportunity. So fingers crossed. It is shallow, so I'm just going to take a time. Obviously it's going to spook the area this, so we want to make sure we try and get this guy in. Just take our time. Carp resting in the margin, waiting to be blogged. There is a fish back on the spot. I've brought the rod in because obviously you don't want to take while you're dealing with one fish, but I'm just going to put a little bit more bait on that spot here because I think there's one down here as well. If they will stay in the area, you know, we might get another opportunity. Yeah, you see there's one there. So they haven't spooked. So I'm going to put a bit more bait on that spot. And there we go. When I was on the Vale this morning and all the pegs were taken, I was a bit gutted, but that's not a bad backup prize, is it? By being patient, you know, making an opportunity. I'm on this estate quite a lot. See people lobbing boilies in, but it's all about those lessons we learned with them small carp working for the bigger ones. Responsible setup, you know, with that heavy line, but creating that opportunity. And yeah, what a great start to the vlog. Let's get this beautiful carp straight back. And then float tactics that you see on the smaller carp definitely work for the bigger, and that the same tactics working for the proper carp. Beautiful. I've seen one or two more carp in the area, so I've put a little bit of bait in, not loads, because obviously we're going to be mobile today. Just enough if there's still some in the area to get a bite. So regulars to the channel will know what that means. Celebratory brew, we're having a good day. Although I don't know what this is down here, but the missus tells me it's good for me. Cheers everybody, and I hope you have a good weekend on the bank. It does feel like another opportunity is building. This carp definitely moving here. Just see that nervous water there, which sounds a weird saying, but if you know, you know. You can just tell when there's a carp about. Obviously our spot's about here. That's right on it, nearly enough. So they're definitely still about. So regulars to the channel will know exactly what's coming. It's going to be a simple rig, but these things that I do different when I'm targeting bigger carp. Got a peacock quill, I've got a 5 gram quick change Olivet, I've got a sinker on the line like a float stop, and straight down to the hook. Now the reason why I've set it up like this, there's no breaks in the line, there's no weak points in the line. You can see from the main line coming in to the float, I've got a rubber in case it goes through any debris. It's not going to catch on anything, the float's going to follow the carp, and it's straight down to the weight. The float stop again doesn't break the line, and a nice strong grappler hook. As exciting as that was before, it didn't materialise, and actually the sun come out for a bit and the carp's behaviour changed completely. A lot more playful, a lot more moving around the pool, not as much tails coming up and plumes of mud feeding behaviour. You see there's one or two about, but not the same behaviour that we had. I've had a mooch around the pool, put a bit of bait in a few spots, nothing really going down. I had a bit of a go in the arm, and again just coming in and not really stopping the carp. So I've put a bit of bait here just off this weed, and we're back on the spot there, and we're just hoping that it cools down a bit because it is warming up and they have a bit of a feeding spell before the end of the session. But the plan definitely has worked. If the conditions had stayed the same, I definitely feel like we'd have picked up another fish. You see they're still moving along this margin here, so it's pointless moving from here. My theory is I might as well stay here if the carp are about, because if they do decide to feed, there's a bit of bait in the area. So prizes for persistence goes to Danny. I think the rod on the ledger has just screamed off up that margin what we pre-baited earlier on, and yeah, fingers crossed we can get it in and end the session on a high. And there we go, well worth waiting for. That bite coming right at the end of the day. The sun coming out really did kill the sport, but I've been round the pool looking for those opportunities, but I ended up back in the swim where I started, and well worth waiting it out for this. A beautiful fish, getting one on each method, proper made up. Let's get the rod back out, and who knows, as we just go into dusk, we might get one more. We always want one more. So just sat here now, it's coming up to 10 to 7, so we've probably got about an hour left if we want it. The rod's back out on the spot and proper blissed out. Yeah, if you do enjoy the channel, please leave it a like down below and subscribe. I do try my hardest to bring a video every week, and yeah, today a day off work, 1 in the morning, sat chilling out all day and get one at the very end. I'm going to hopefully try and get one more, and I'll see you all at the end of the video. When I was just about to pick up the camera and say it feels right again for the bite, the boils started coming in again on the float rod, and it absolutely melted away. I'm going to have to be super quick because I'm running out of space on my phone, so hopefully we can get the third fish. And who would have thought that probably 15 minutes ago when we sat here waiting for the opportunity. But it just shows when they come in, it works. I'm just going to take my time and just try and get it in. When I left Linvale this morning, I didn't know where I was going. Boy, did I make the right choice. Different tactics, paying off. 3 fish on the bank, 1 happy Danny. Well, I was just saying to me mate, I should really go home and get me gear and do the night, because they have been all over me, and I guess priming them swims really is paying off. But could we get one more in a mad last hour? So what a mad end to the session it's been. Another chunk of a carp to end with. This really is the last fish of the session. Now I'm going to have to pack away and get home, but I'm gutted to be packing in because these fish all over me. For the final time in this week's vlog, tight lines in your own fishing, and we'll catch it all next week. Tight lines.